Heyo, welcome to Bloodhouse, the show where we talk about art house horror movies. I'm your host, Joshua Conkle.
And I'm your beloved radiator singing hostess, Drusilla Adeline. Welcome to another episode of Bloodhouse.
Huzzah! How are you?
I'm good. Everything's fine. Everything in heaven is fine. I'm doing very well. I had a great morning of estate sale hunting with my partner today.
Love.
Super fun. There was an awesome one here in Glendale, where I like hunting through dead people's homes and finding out more about them.
Yeah.
Because Ivor had gone to this one earlier in the week and then was like, they're having it's like blowout sale. They're just getting rid of stuff on Saturday, so it's gonna be dirt cheap. And there's a lot of books, and I was like, awesome. I collect pulp paperbacks, both for like my job is like visual reference, but also like they're cool and they don't take up a lot of space, and I like having pieces of history in my house. And when I got there, the house was full of like religious stuff and a lot of like communism books and stuff. It was very eclectic, but I was able to like suss out like a person's life through like going on stuff. And I think based on the amount of stuff that they were from Indiana, they had like a bunch of Indiana set movies on VHS.
Uh-huh.
They had a bunch of Booth Tarkington novels. They had like it was just very precious to me to be like, oh my god, another commie from Indiana ended up in California.
Sure. Yeah,
how adorable!
You, Joel, and that person are the three.
Yeah. Any Hoosier commies listening to this, we love you in California. Come on out.
That's so cool. I was just made me think. My best friend in New York, Megan, used to, when I lived in New York, still had a job as the personal assistant to this very wealthy, very old woman on the Upper East Side. And the woman passed away, and so Megan was helping clear out the estate. And she brought me a gift that probably only I would like, but she brought me the woman's a bag of the woman's answering machine tapes from like 20 years.
So cool.
And a little tape player on which to play them. So I just like listened to this old lady's voicemails from like the 80s and 90s.
That's awesome.
I loved it so much.
Do you still have those?
I don't anymore. I accidentally left them in my basement in Brooklyn.
Yeah. That's a shame. That's super awesome kind of stuff that like, you know, nowadays I would absolutely re-record and sample. I think about that kind of stuff all the time.
Me too. I love it.
When I lived in Indiana and Chicago and all the like random miscellaneous shit that I would like build in a crew, and I had like vast plans for like art projects and like films and stuff that I was like going to use all of this for, and then I would come back from college and my stepdad would be like, I threw all those old TVs away. What were you doing hoarding all those old TVs?
When I did yearbook in high school, the yearbook room had all of the previous yearbooks going back to the 50s when the school was built, and I used to love going through those. It's, you know, like my own high school, but like in the 80s, so it'd be like pictures that are like, here are the new waivers or whatever, and it's like, oh, to go to this school when there were new waivers would have been so much cooler.
I had a lot of my school's vintage yearbooks. They sold them at the fucking half price books by my house.
Oh, wow.
But mostly because all of my relatives on either side of my family went to that same high school.
Right.
So you flip back to like, North Central High School, 1986. You're like, there's my mom and there's my aunt and there's my uncle. And then you flip back to North Central High School, 1972. And you're like, oh, there's my dad, there's my uncle, there's my aunt. Entirely too many of them. It's upsetting.
I love that stuff. Have you been watching anything cool?
Yeah. I'll mention something about TV before I mention a movie. So I know you've been watching, but they just wrapped up The Curse on Showtime.
It's
the A24 produced Benny Safdie, Nathan Fielder show with Emma Stone. I know you haven't seen the final episode yet.
I'm watching it tonight. I'm so excited.
It's a fucking doozy. I will say, I hope Joel watches with you.
He will. Yeah.
You're gonna need someone there for comfort.
Oh no.
It's severely upsetting.
That show is so good. The land acknowledgement in the last episode was so funny. That show is so discomforting and unpleasant in the best possible way.
I mean, just like from when the very first episodes, when Benny Safdie tells a like first date, a very long story about his wife dying in a car accident at which he drove drunk, and then being like, "Nah, I can drive you home. I'm okay. I've only had a few beers. It's fine. I can drive you home." You're
It's
like,
so
no,
evil.
no. Where the show, the only spoiler that I will give for the final episode is that it opens on Rachel Ray.
Whoa.
And it ends even more shocking from there. It's
strange.
So fucking bizarre. Emma Stone's like physicality in the final episode is so nuts. It's very evident that she made this around the same time as Poor Things, because she's really in her body in a different way. It's so goddamn funny and so weird. I've seen a lot of people online talk about how it was too cringe for them and they stopped watching after a few episodes because they didn't know where it was going and all this stuff. And I feel like after this finale, now everyone's going to be going back and watching and being
it's so good.
I
can't. I mean, it is very cringe. It's really uncomfortable to watch that show, but I love it. I love the way it makes me feel. I guess I'm a masochist.
It's amazing. The final episode is like absolutely nothing like anything else in the show. It is deeply upsetting, deeply like surreal and beautiful and horrifying. And I've seen people compare it to Beau is Afraid. I've seen people compare it to Twin Peaks: The Return. It's really good.
I can't wait. I kind of want to go see more Safdie Brothers movies, because the only one that I've seen is Uncut Gems, which I didn't really like.
I love Uncut Gems. When The Curse came out, for the past 10 weeks of The Curse being out, Ivory had never seen any Nathan Fielder content or any Safdie content. And so while the first few weeks of The Curse were happening, we watched all of the rehearsal because I had to catch her up on that. And then I've caught her up on Nathan For You. And then I showed her Uncut Gems.
Yeah. I'm watching for Nathan Fielder because I'm a huge Nathan. I love everything that he does.
He's so funny. Benny Safdie's performance is very good. And
he's very good, yeah.
He's had a hell of a year between Oppenheimer and Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret, as like being a really standout performer. He was also incredible in Licorice Pizza.
Yeah, I was going to say, I really liked him in Licorice Pizza.
He's a like deeply underrated actor. And he's really blowing up. And I know it's sad that the Safdie brothers have kind of like split ways.
Oh, have they? I didn't know that.
They announced it a few weeks ago that the new project that was being prepared, also with Adam Sandler again, was I think just going to be Josh Safdie. That Benny wasn't going to be involved and Benny would be doing his own stuff, to which a lot of people have then made memes of Nathan Fielder in the rehearsal with his little laptop harness saying, the plan, break up the Safdie brothers.
Yeah, I'd like to watch Good Time. I haven't seen that, and I hear it's really good.
I feel like you would like Good Time, but Good Time is as stressful as the rehearsal is.
Yeah.
And The Curse and Uncut Gems. But Robert Pattinson's really hot in it.
He's really hot in everything.
Trashy blonde hair. It's great. I need to see their early stuff. I need to see Daddy Longlegs, and I need to see their co-producer Ronald Bronstein's movie, Frownland.
I have that. I bought that Blu-ray without knowing anything about it because I loved the title so much. It's good. It's worth watching.
It looks upsetting.
It is.
Yeah.
It's exactly what you think it is.
Yeah. I did get to watch a really like heartwarming movie recently that I want to talk about because between anxiety inducing stuff, I want to just get in one little bit of like soul comfort.
Okay.
I watched a 70s Diane Carroll movie this past week that I had never seen before. It's been on my shelf for like 2 or 3 years because I blind bought it from Criterion, just being like, I should watch this. This looks like something good for my education. It's called Claudine from 1974.
I've never seen that, but I've heard of it.
It's her and it's James Earl Jones, and it's just this outrageously like blue collar stripped down romance between Diane Carroll, who plays a woman named Claudine, who has like 5 or 6 kids, and lives in a tiny apartment in New York City, and is on welfare and works as a maid for a like white family out in the suburbs. And James Earl Jones is a garbage man on the root of said rich white family, and they meet and they fall in love, and it's adorable, and it's really, really sweet, and it's really, really political. It was made by one of the blacklisted filmmakers from the
Oh, from like
Red
McCarthyism?
Scare. Yeah. Um it's like I got a very strong political bet to it, while also just being a really heartwarming story about family and about like living a proper life as like an accomplished and proud black person in 1970s America, and
Mhm.
as just a lower income individual in America, period. A lot of it really has to do with the fucking hypocrisy and insanity of the welfare system. And it's got this infectious ass soundtrack by Gladys Knight and the Pips.
Oh, wow.
It's really, really good. I feel like you would love it, for
That
as
sounds
much as
really
like
good.
we talk a lot about not having lower class lives presented in a
Yeah.
like positive light,
Yeah.
both like aesthetically and emotionally and politically in films these days. Claudine is such a like breath of fresh air, and while also like presenting very serious and like day-to-day issues with like existing in America that have not
Yeah.
gotten better over time.
Gotten
It
worse, in
presents
fact.
them in like really stark ways that's like very political, while also just being fucking adorable and heartwarming. I loved it. Cannot recommend it highly enough.
That sounds really
Um,
good.
it's a really great like cozy watch. If you need something to make you feel better after the Curse finale, Claudine's there for you. What about you? Have you been watching anything good?
Well, I literally just came from the Vidiots kids brunch to watch The Dark Crystal, but I feel like I've talked about that 5 times on this podcast and I can't talk about it
Oh
anymore. But
my
I love The Dark
god.
Crystal and I'll always see it on the big screen when I can. But I was watching another movie for our podcast on the Criterion app, and as soon as it was over, I was like, "Oh, I'll just stay here and see what I can find." And I watched a movie that I watched a bunch of times, like in junior high, and used to really like, but I haven't seen it since then, like 25 years or more. And it is the Parker Posey film Party Girl.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
have you seen it?
I've actually not seen Party Girl.
You'd really like it. It is like such a good time capsule of the 90s in a way, but besides that, it's just legitimately good. It kind of reminds me of like Breakfast at Tiffany's in the way that it is about like a young woman in New York who is quirky and delightful, and it really shows what a star Parker Posey is, and the writing is really good, and Guillermo Diaz is in it and is just as hot as he has ever been. And it's so charming. It really it will really make you happy. It's legitimately funny, very sweet, very thoughtful, great writing and directing by a young woman director making, I think, her first movie. It just fucking rules.
It's really had a big resurgence in the past like year or so. It
Yeah.
like popped up on the Criterion channel. It got a like Fun City Editions Blu-ray release.
It got a big restoration.
It played at like retro cinemas around town, like in New York and LA and Chicago and stuff. It's really had a comeback. A lot of people have been fucking digging it.
When I posted about watching it to my stories on Instagram, I got a ton of messages right away from like gay men my age and a little older who are like, "This is my favorite movie of all time," and I could quote the whole thing to you.
Fuck yeah.
It's great.
I love Parker Posey. I've had a very Parker Posey past couple of months, getting into Suburbia and Josie and the Pussycats and House of Yes. I love her so fucking much.
House of Yes is so funny.
House of Yes is so funny.
That dialogue
and mean
is so
and
good.
dark.
Yeah. And what's that French actress that you love who plays the mom?
French Canadian, Geneviève Bujold.
Yeah, I always forget her name for some reason, even though I've seen every movie she's ever been in.
Like
she's
Coma, the movie that put 1 million people to sleep.
I love Coma so much. She's great in House of Yes. Like, she's giving full Lucille Bluth, terrible, tormenting rich mother, and God, I love that movie. Yeah, Parker Posey is such a star.
She's such a fucking star. She's like a genre unto herself.
Completely.
As soon as you put Parker Posey in the movie, you know the like wit and tone and pace of the movie.
I think she might be the coolest Gen Xer. I think she might be the coolest person of her generation.
I truly believe that she's like the Katharine Hepburn of the 90s.
Absolutely.
Like, she is herself. She like is herself in like every role she's in, whether she's a lead or a supporting character or whatever. I also would like super highly recommend another like late 90s one that she's in that's overlooked a lot is Day Trippers.
I love the Day Trippers.
I love that movie so
Such good
much.
writing.
Mm-hmm. Her and Liev Schreiber have like such great chemistry and banter in that movie.
He's also in Party Girl in a small role.
They have like, and they're both in Scream 3, and like
I feel like Party Girl also has a lot of people from The Sopranos in it, much like The Addiction, which we covered, did. I think there's like a crew of like 90s New York-based indie actors that are kind of in everything that gets made there, including Parker Posey and Liev Schreiber. The reason that I didn't watch Party Girl a lot growing up, like I might have, was that honestly I didn't like the music because it's about rave culture, so it's all dance music, which I didn't like in the 90s. I only liked various kinds of alternative rock, frankly, which it has none of. But now I'm just like more open-minded, and I'm old, and that time is long gone, so it doesn't matter. Do you know what I mean? And like, it's a lot more likable to me now than it was then for that reason.
I'm very excited to get into it. I actually weirdly do like, for all of my like punk glory, I love like 90s like trap and like
that's what it is, and
dance
a lot of
music and stuff like that,
disco remixes and stuff like that I like now but didn't like then.
Like I really love like Portishead and like this stuff that Sparks was doing in the 90s, and like I can get very into it. But it's not something I got into like until recently.
Yeah, this is more like this is the scene that D-Light, Groove Us in the Heart came out of. So it's like that kind of vibe.
Fuck yeah. I love D-Light.
Me too. I love D-Light now. Anyway, so yeah, Party Girl on Criterion. There's a whole, listener, in case you didn't know, there's a whole Parker Posey category on Criterion right now. It's like, it could really take your week. You could really,
as well it should.
And there's a lot on there. It's like, God, she really was in a lot of movies in the 90s.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, there's so many on there, but you also flick through and be like, oh, there's no Waiting for Guffman and stuff like that. Because like, yeah, she put out that much fucking stuff. She was also a Dazed and Confused.
She's the best part of Dazed and Confused by a lot.
I love Dazed and Confused.
Me too. So I love that movie, but she's the best.
Oh my God.
Anyway, my intro to her, I think.
We are Parker Posey approved.
Yeah, we love her.
Front to back.
Even when she's in things that's like, why are you don't have to be in this, Parker Posey. Like with the Netflix Lost in Space reboot, I was like, why is Parker Posey in this? What a waste. But it's nice to see her anywhere she turns up.
Yeah. Her sex scene in Beau is Afraid is like the best thing in the back half of that movie.
Totally. Absolutely. I loved her scene in that.
If you want to watch Beau is Afraid, my recommendation is to turn it off after the Parker Posey scene. Once she's off screen, you're done with the movie. There's nothing good after that.
I have a fan edit of Beau is Afraid in me, which is keeping acts 1 and 2. If you consider it 5 acts, because there's 5 big set pieces. Keep 1 and 2, cut 3, which is the entire forest sequence. Keep 4, which is the house with Parker Posey and Patti LuPone, cut 5. So only keep acts 1, 2, and 4, and that's the movie.
I have a Beau is Afraid fan edit in me as well, but mine includes Act 3 because I love Act 3.
I really don't like it.
Or mine might like re-edit Act 3 to be the start of the movie as like a little like preamble.
Interesting.
I don't know. We'll see. I love Act 3. Honestly, had like the curtain just like come up and the credits had rolled at the end of Act 3, I would have stood up and clapped and gave it 5 stars.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have made any sense, but I would have loved it.
Do I hear a screaming baby in your building? Because it's a perfect segue.
Oh, you hear a screaming baby. It's not in my building. It's in the building next door.
Jeez,
that's
Louise.
How loud it's screaming.
Oh my God.
But that's like, speaking of screaming babies.
Today we are here to talk about a movie that is really art house horror 101. And the only reason we haven't covered it before is because it is so fundamental, really, that it's kind of you kind of don't want to do it in a weird way, even though we both love this movie. I think we are talking about, of course, from 1977, directed by David Lynch, Eraserhead. I really love this movie. I didn't always love this movie. I saw it when I was a teenager, and it had, of course, a reputation with goths and arty kids like that. And I think when I watched it on VHS, I think I found it boring. But I also knew that I couldn't say that because all the cool kids really seemed to like it. And then for many, many years, like all the way through art school, I saw every David Lynch movie that came out, and I thought that they were all boring for a really long time, with the exception of the show Twin Peaks. And the thing that I used to say, and this is such a bad take now, I'm cringing as I say all of this because I don't feel any of these things anymore, of course. I used to say that Twin Peaks was good because like TV executives reined in David Lynch, and that's what made it good.
Oh,
and
honey.
Now in middle age, I really love David Lynch, and I don't know. I used to think that he was pretentious and boring, and I used to even say that like people who said they liked him were lying. It just is like I couldn't feel any further away from any of these things now because I love him very deeply. But it
I
took me a long time.
fully understand that like view of like it's something that like wasn't like the puzzle piece wasn't fitting into your brain. Like it just wasn't clicking. And so you couldn't see in like the adolescent view of the world how it would fit for anybody. And they're like, I totally get that. Which is why when people get so like up in a fucking like uproar online when how dare you not like the thing I like, I'm like, calm down.
Yeah.
Calm down.
I
take a recommendation. If it doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for you. Cool. Go revisit it in 10 years. See if you react different to it because it's art. Like your mileage varies based on your life. Like, sorry.
And I went to art school too. So I was a very headstrong young person. I really thought I was right. I had really strong opinions. And to some degree, I'm still that way, obviously. But your taste should get more sophisticated with age.
That's ideally the point.
That's the hope. It doesn't always happen. I think my parents are people that like only watch Pixar movies, and they used to not be that way. You know what I mean? So it can go a different direction. But for me, like I saw Taika Waititi say something about a movie that was nominated for an Oscar. And he was like, the thing about these movies is it's like eating vegetables. It's not fun. And it's like, you're a grown man. Like as you're supposed to like vegetables. You're an adult. Do you know what I mean? Like your taste buds are supposed to change and get more sophisticated. So that's kind of what happened to me with David Lynch is the point. And this may be my favorite David Lynch movie. I'm not sure. But
oh, damn.
Yeah. How about you?
I love Eraserhead. It's taken me a long time, again, to say that. It's always been one that I've had a like high reverence for, but it scared the ever-loving fuck out of me for so long. It's really unnerving. So I also, being a very artsy, cine-literate child of like 14 or 15, had heard so much about Eraserhead. And I had heard about David Lynch. I'd heard about Mulholland Drive and Blue Velvet and Twin Peaks. But I knew I had to do Eraserhead. And my library, the Carmel Clay Public Library, where I rented all my stuff from and where you recorded one of the recent episodes
yes, where my boyfriend's mom worked while you rented those videos.
I probably stole stuff from her. The only copy of Eraserhead they had was a Korean bootleg.
Oh, interesting.
And so the back of it was all in Korean. And I remember, and like, it was the standard, like, that famous photo of Jack Nance with his hair up and the famous type that says Eraserhead. But everything on the back was like green. It was crazy. It was really, and so I remember like having that with me, and I checked it out from the library maybe like 3 to 4 times before I finally had the courage to watch it. I would like, it would be like people with David Foster Wallace books. I would like get it and then like leave it in my backpack and just like hope that I would force myself to watch it, or if someone saw me with it, they'd call me out and I would have to go watch it. And then when I finally sat down and watched it, I got like 5 minutes in and was like, nope, freaked out, turned it off. And then I would put it on again like a month later, and I would get like to the chicken scene and I'd be like, nope, okay, well, turn it off. And then it was probably like a year or so later that I finally was like, fuck it, I'm doing this. And I did it all in one go, and I fucking loved it. And I had no idea what the movie was. I had no idea what it was about. The only thing I knew was that image of him and Eraserhead, and it's scary and it's weird and it's art and it's insane and you have to know it.
Yeah.
You reminded me. It changed my brain.
Yeah. You reminded me that this movie was really hard to see in the 90s, and it was out of print. And a lot of those movies that we take for granted now were really were out of print and really hard to find, and I had to work really hard to see them. Movies like Female Trouble, Pink Flamingos, Eraserhead, Shock Treatment. Like, I had to work really hard to get to see those because they were out of print and had gotten sort of rare. Because it's sort of an in-between time between like
Liquid
them coming
Sky.
out. Yeah, totally. Another one of those. I guess synopsis wise, I'll do my best, but Jack Nance plays a man named Henry who lives in some sort of post-apocalyptic-ish industrial landscape that's rather hellish. He is on vacation from a factory where he works, and he gets invited to kind of his girlfriend's parents' house for dinner, where he discovers that his girlfriend has had a quote-unquote baby, although the doctors are not sure that it qualifies. And he has to get married to this woman, Mary. So he takes her home to his apartment. They have this deformed quote-unquote baby that won't stop crying. It's rather nightmarish. Mary is miserable. She kind of leaves him on his own, and he sort of spirals. Is there anything else to say in like the most literal sense? That's
about it on a very like literal narrative sense.
Yeah. There's a lady in the radiator. There's weird stuff like that. But
yeah, there's a lot of that stuff. There's a man in the moon who kind of cranks a lever. There's things like that. It's not what the movie's about, though. Like, you know what I mean? This movie is a mood, it's an experience, it's a non-linear it's non-narrative art film. Like,
I mean, he's one of our great surrealists, right? In the space of film, he's like answering the call of your boy Buñuel. There's not a lot of surrealist filmmakers, truth be told.
No, there's painfully few. There's more like comedic or social comedic filmmakers that then dabble in surrealism, or horror filmmakers that dabble in surrealism, like David Cronenberg, to get their point across. But there's very, very few whose entire oeuvre is dedicated to a surrealistic view of the world. And it's like Buñuel, Lynch, and then like maybe 2 or 3 others, but like it's those two. I would say Alex Cox actually lands in that category.
Yeah, although Alex Cox has a lot fewer films than David Lynch does.
Significantly fewer like acclaimed films.
Yeah.
His body of work after the 90s gets rough.
Yeah. I always think of when I think of Eraserhead? A lot of times my favorite book or album or film by an artist, my favorite is often their first, because it sometimes feels like a pure blast of that person's idiosyncratic artistic vision. And that's sort of how I feel about Eraserhead. It's such a small movie and so contained, but the aesthetic of it is so tight. That soundscape is so incredible and specific. It's just a completely singular vision from an artist. And I think it's so special.
I mean, it took like 5 years?
It took 5 years
to film it. There's Jack Nance kept his hair like that for 5 years. Lynch lived on the set, essentially, which was filmed at the former stables at the uh, not the Academy, but
well,
AFI.
AFI
At the
owned
AFI.
it, yeah.
Yeah, because he like spent years making his kind of like paint animation short films.
Yeah. And
which are wonderful.
He delivered newspapers for a job while he was making this, and so that money went to that. His girlfriend, was like a waitress, and she paid for this. Weirdly, Sissy Spacek put a whole lot of money into this, so it was like sort of a labor of love. Took 5 years.
Yeah, Sissy Spacek's longtime partner,
Gould?
Jack.
I have the wiki up. Hang on.
Jack Fisk. Jack Fisk was a longtime friend of Lynch's and would go on to work on a number of Lynch's movies, but also Phantom of the Paradise and a lot of Terrence Malick movies.
He's a production designer, right?
Like Days of Heaven. And he still works to this day, and like it's their relationship that and Sissy Spacek also working on Phantom of the Paradise with him that got her the role of Carrie. And working with Terrence Malick is what got her the role in Badlands. And like, there's a really cute photo of Lynch and Fisk back in like Philadelphia or something, well before he even moved to California, well before Eraserhead was even a thing, of them just hanging out as buddies, art buddies.
Have you ever heard Sissy Spacek's record from like 1968?
No.
It's on YouTube. I'll put a link in. She did a record that was like, the song is called like, "Oh John, How Could You?" or something like that. And it's to John Lennon. it's very weird. She has a nice voice. The only reason she agreed to be in Coal Miner's Daughter was they said that she could sing all of the songs herself. So she's got actually a really nice singing voice.
That's great. Yeah. I love her.
I love Coal Miner's Daughter. Anyway, Sissy Spacek is not in Eraserhead, but we love her nonetheless.
I'm just imagining the like early 2000s like bootleg DVDs of like public domain movies when they're like, look, Telly Savalas is in a movie. They put his photo really big. Or I've seen some of like Belle de Jour where it's like a random photo of Catherine Deneuve looking great, and then it says like Repulsion on it, or Belle, and you're like, what? I'm just imagining one that's just like Sissy Spacek, a nice little headshot, and then at the bottom it just says Eraserhead.
It's like Brooke Shields and Alice, Sweet Alice.
Yeah.
She's like barely in. I don't really know how to talk about this movie.
I mean, well and truly, it is the thing that so much of Lynch is inside of. And he's since said that this is his most spiritual movie, which has then become a meme of the interviewer asking him to elaborate on that, like, and him saying no.
We love him.
Adore him. But it's a very meditative, personal movie. It's the one movie his entire career he's refused to ever like go on record about what it is. He'll talk till he's blue in the face about O.J. Simpson's inspiration on Lost Highway and like all the Wizard of Oz stuff he was pulling on Wild at Heart, and when it comes to really Eraserhead, he won't even tell people how he made the baby.
I was just going to say, he is so weirdly secret. Like, he apparently blindfolded the DP when they were setting it up because he didn't want anyone to know what the baby was made of or how it was operated. And it's like, David, we know it's a puppet of some sort. Like, there's nothing. We don't think it's real. I promise you. We don't think that you found a deformed baby and brought it to set.
I need
whatever.
The Shadow of the Vampire style movie about the making of Eraserhead, where no, the baby was actually a creature.
The baby is quite disgusting. It looks like it's sort of wrapped in bandages, kind of like Invisible Man style from the neck down. So it looks very much like a sperm. It's got a big head and then like a long, skinny white body.
It's like a teardrop shaped body. It's very bizarre.
It has a really disgusting cry. It's always like spitting up. It's pretty vile.
It gets like hives at one point.
Yeah, like boils on its face.
Jack Nance's voice just saying, are you sick, little guy? So funny.
Yeah, this movie does have some comedy in it. I mean, the scene at dinner with the parents is very funny to me. Like, look at my knees! And, like, the chickens being so tiny and then doing a little dance on the plate. It's all so weird and great.
So beautiful. I mean, David Lynch has also gone on record. If you either read any of his books, like Catching the Big Fish, or the biography that he wrote, or if you watch the documentary like David Lynch, The Art Life, a lot of the stuff that's in his movies has been in his life. Like is the famous Isabella Rossellini scene in Blue Velvet where she's nude in the middle of the like yard. It's something that he and his like brother saw as children, was a very like wounded naked woman in the middle of the street on like a Sunday afternoon or something like that.
That would sear into your brain, I imagine.
Yeah. But it sounds like all of his stories about when he was like newly married and living in Pittsburgh and or some part of Pennsylvania, and like planning out the like just working to try and be an artist full time, and like working on paintings and starting to get into film and make short films and apply to AFI. All of his stories about living near factories in Pennsylvania and having to deal with psychotic neighbors and the pressures of being in a relationship and being an expectant father and all that stuff really feels like the world he is painting in Eraserhead.
Yeah,
I know he said multiple times that this has nothing to do with fatherhood and nothing to do with his daughter Jen, who was born at that time. I don't buy that.
I don't buy it at all. It is sort of crazy that this was filmed in Los Angeles, though, because it really looks like it's like the fallen Berlin or something. I mean, it's just all rubble, all gray skies. It's so beautiful, the aesthetic and the sort of landscape of it. Speaking of landscapes, soundscape. After production, which took 5 years, they spent an additional year, apparently, just doing the soundscape for this movie, which is constant and ever present and such a big part of this. I mean, there's no silent part of this, but there's often like just a kind of quiet, menacing rumbling in the background.
Yeah. The Alan Splett is the big like other credit alongside Lynch for that. And the sound design is one of the single most important aspects of this movie. And I know David Lynch has gone on record a lot about don't watch movies on your cell phone. You're not getting the full picture.
I love your David Lynch impression. It's such a delight to me every time. It's very accurate, and I love it whenever it comes up.
It's very Midwestern. He sounds great. But the important thing to him is always sound. Sound is the most important. Like every interview that I've seen with David Lynch talking about movies, he's always talking about the sound design. Like he loves Jacques Tati and he loves Mon Oncle, and every interview with him about it is like, boy, you could hear it clear as a bell. And you're like, okay, cool. Even like with something like Wild at Heart and stuff like that, every like theatrical print of Wild at Heart he had mixed louder than it should have been. So it's like bombastically loud. It's really, really, really important if you're going to be watching Eraserhead for the first time, which it's very easy to listen to this episode if you've never seen it before. Like there's no way to spoil Eraserhead.
No, it's so strange, truly. I mean, it's unspoilable.
I would just say it almost never gets shown in theaters. You're not going to get the chance to see it in theaters unless it's like the New Art Cinema in 1978 or something like that. Just have your room pitch black, watch it on a TV, and make sure you have a really good sound system and crank that the fuck up.
The popularity of the movie Skinamarink makes me feel like there's an audience of young horror fans who haven't seen this, who are ready to discover this and love it. You know what I mean? It feels sort of like Skinamarink in tone and in pace and all of those
I still haven't
things.
seen Skinamarink.
I don't like Skinamarink, but I I just feel like if you like Skinamarink, if you're willing to deal with that pace and that tone and that vibe, then this is a movie that you would really like. Just speaking to people who haven't seen this.
Yeah. I find it so fascinating how like beloved the sound design is for this movie.
It's
That
so good.
it's so good, but it was so popular, and this movie was such a like surprise breakout hit. They pressed it on vinyl in the early 80s.
I don't know if I love it that much that I want to like walk around cleaning my house to it, but
There's an early 80s Eraserhead. Like, I mean, they've of course been repressed a lot since then.
I'm sure.
And approved by David and like coming with like bunch of swag and stuff like that. But it was put out in the early 80s, and it's like there's like a sticker on the cover of being like includes up in heaven everything is fine and baby, and you're like,
what's baby? Is it just the baby crying?
oh my god.
I would never consider getting an MFA in screenwriting because I already do that for a living. But if I did, I might go to David Lynch's personal MFA program, which does exist. And it's at a weird, like, Buddhist school in like Nebraska or something, and you do a lot of transcendental meditation, and it sounds kind of cool actually. It's also like a cult, but that's cool.
Cults can be cool. Remember Safe?
Yeah.
It's speaking on this as like an text to Lynch, as like this is his most personal work, this is the most like lived in research, like pure undiluted Lynch. Two things really spring to mind is how much of like small visual elements of this movie, like both like auditory and visual, like electricity kind of like shaking and oscillating, and like flat, like really blown out flashes of light will stay in like his whole career after that.
Mm-hmm.
There's a whole lobby floor in this movie that like becomes the Black Lodge floor iconically in Twin Peaks. But it's so interesting because all of his work after this, which by the way, following this movie up with the motherfucking Elephant Man is psychotic. Mel Brooks deserves every award possible for trusting him with that.
Yeah.
But people like, he became a household name with Twin Peaks. He was welcomed into people's homes with that. He gained like real like prominence with Blue Velvet, and then even more so with Mulholland Drive. And so he was seen for a while before the resurgence of Eraserhead in the 90s and early 2000s as like a quirky crime guy, not unlike the Coen brothers or Quentin Tarantino, of like, oh, it's going to be a mystery, and there's going to be some sex, and it's going to be funny, and it's going to be off kilter. I watched a bunch of Siskel and Ebert reviews of Lynch's movies, like that were contemporary as they were coming out, and every single one, Roger Ebert doesn't seem to get what David Lynch does. Every single one, he's just going for these shocking crime stories, and every time he does the most shocking thing ever, he follows it up with a joke to like take the sting out, and that's so reprehensible, and this, that, and the other. I'm like, that's not what he's doing.
That's so funny that you should say that, because I was reading the reviews for this, and the reviews from the 70s were not kind. Variety called it like a gross out movie, and people were just like very dismissive of it, which I was surprised by, because I guess I just thought that David Lynch was so esteemed now, and as long as I've been a film fan, he's been so beloved that I assumed it was always that way, but not at all. I mean, this movie was not very liked.
He had a rough time, and even when he did well and Blue Velvet was a big like pseudo commercial and critical hit, it had big detractors. Roger Ebert was really railing against it. He thought it was outrageously misogynistic.
Yeah.
Eraserhead also had this big debut out in LA with New Art. There's that great photo of him at Big Boy shaking hands with John Waters when John was promoting Female Trouble there at the same time. And so or maybe Desperate Living, and it was kind of seen as like one of those midnight movies like Rocky Horror and Pink Flamingos and these gross movies where people eat shit
Well, it
and
was one of
creepy
those
women
movies, though. In
sing.
fairness,
But
it
no,
was. It was a
but
midnight
it
movie.
was.
Yeah.
And that's how it got its cultural cachet. And if it didn't have that, maybe it wouldn't have stood the test. Maybe it would have been forgotten until it was rediscovered. Maybe Lynch never would have made Elephant Man or Dune or Blue Velvet or Twin Peaks. But it was viewed as that, so a lot of critics passed it off as like a schlocky, like shock movie.
Yeah. Which I don't think that there's anything in this movie that's that shocking per se. I mean, that's not really what the movie is doing to me. And even for the 70s, I mean, the 70s, if anything, had more shocking movies than we have today. So it's not like it was a more innocent time. It was a much darker time in cinema, actually. So I just don't buy that. It feels prudish to me and reactionary.
No. But this movie is very much on its own wavelength, and I'm at the idea of seeing this in 1977 when you have no context. The closest thing that this is compared to is Buñuel's Un Chien Andalou or L'Âge d'Or, like, which were from the fucking 30s and were banned in a lot of countries, and you couldn't see very well.
So,
like, maybe your art school had a print of Un Chien Andalou, and that was it.
Yeah, that's how I saw that movie. It was at art school. What is this movie about to you? And I know that that's not a really important question and it's okay to just like let the movie wash over you, but I have a take on this and I wondered if we thought the same thing.
I mean, to me, it's always been like an anxiety story.
Mm-hmm.
It's been like a story of a like simple man who doesn't know how to like interact with the world. And so the world is harsh and scary at every turn.
Yeah.
And every worst case scenario is just that.
Totally.
And so like it totally makes sense why filmmakers like Ari Aster and people like Nathan Fielder would now be making a lot of stuff in similar veins and being occasionally compared to Lynch.
Yeah.
It feels very personal. I know a lot of autistic people who think this movie's very comforting.
Oh, interesting. That's interesting.
What's your take? What's your big takeaway?
Well, same, except to me, it seems like it's about anxiety around women and sex. Because, of course, he has this girlfriend, Mary, and the baby and the in-laws and all of that stuff. That's all like anxiety inducing. And then the baby looks like a sperm. And then there's the lady in the radiator who's kind of a girl next door type, except that she is like, starts squashing these sperm like creatures on the floor and looking at him confrontationally. And I don't know, it feels like anxiety around like, and he's afraid of the woman who lives across the hall who's coming on to him. So it feels like something about sex to me.
We also get, the kind of man in the planet or whatever who pulls the lever, which kind of like causes a sperm-esque creature to escape from Jack Nance's mouth and then land in a like barren planet, which is, can be viewed as like the ovum and stuff like that.
It's like sort of like the fear of not having any control of your sexual urges around women or something like that. I don't know, just a guess.
But like I feel like that's definitely one of the aspects, but I also feel like there's just like the world around him is like anxiety inducing nightmares. Everything seems it's out to get him. He's constantly bundled up. He's constantly holding himself tight and small, moving through hallways. The elevator doesn't work right. Everything's flickering. The like pots in his room are overflowing with dirt.
Yeah. I did think of this movie a lot when I was watching Beau is Afraid, especially in the beginning part in the city and his apartment and all that stuff. I was like, oh, this is very Eraserhead.
So what do you make of the black and white?
I think it's probably, I just assumed that it was what he had on hand because he was a student, but I'm sure it was a choice. I think it's amazing because it just helps the aesthetic be cohesive and tight. And I just assumed it was just like what he had, but I guess that's probably not right.
I mean, black and white was cheaper at the time. If you're doing a feature, but also like he'd made color shorts before.
Mm.
The alphabet and the grandmother are in color.
Mm-hmm.
And so it really, like, it does feel like an aesthetic choice. And he is such a dialed in, attentive filmmaker that it could also be both a financial choice and also like making a feature is a really big step if you've only ever made shorts and paintings before.
Mm-hmm.
So like having to worry less about lighting and color and just focusing on black and white can be easier.
Yeah.
I could see it being like less things on his plate to have to worry about. I remember when I was working on The Elephant Man, when I did the Criterion release of it, I was reading a lot of interviews with him from the time and watching a lot of documentaries and stuff about the making of it. And when The Elephant Man kicked off, there was a big fight about having it in black and white, and that was all based around the Joseph Merrick makeup and prosthetics,
Mm-hmm.
and having them be believable. But also when he started that project, because he had done all the prosthetics and effects in Eraserhead, he assumed that he would be doing them in Elephant Man and didn't want to hire a makeup effects team or studio.
Mm.
And like a few weeks into pre-production, like right before they were about to like move out to New York, to England to shoot it, he was struggling getting all of that in place while also like getting together a shot list and casting and all that stuff. And Mel Brooks had to come to him and be like, you don't have to do everything.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to do this. It's fine. You can just supervise other people. So it could be a sense of control over the palette and look, but it makes it so much more dreamlike. And
Totally.
surrealism for me works infinitely better in black and white
It's
because
like
it's
The
one
Lighthouse, you know what I mean? Like
Carnival of
yeah.
Souls, like these movies that like it's film. So much of film strives for realism, strives to capture the world around us. And at a certain point in the 1960s, when like documentary news television was black and white news footage, stuff like Night of the Living Dead felt super realistic.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, with hyper real, like high frame rates and all this fucking shit, and like TikTok and Instagram Live having people shooting vertically tends to feel more real and natural and stuff like that. The more you can set something outside of the real world, the more barriers you can have between human actors performing day-to-day routines. Having it be in black and white feels more strange and surreal and dreamlike, and it becomes more powerful. I mean, Orson Welles like famously said that it's hard to find a good performance in color because all the great ones are in black and white, because it's like more complimentary to the actor, because you're not thinking about like, oh, she looks so good here, oh my god, that like photo spread of her looks so great. Oh, like you're not thinking about that stuff. You're not thinking about the actor, you're thinking about the character more. You're able to like separate reality a little bit more.
That's an interesting quote. I don't actually agree with it, because often when I watch a black and white movie, I think, oh my god, she looks so beautiful, because I find the black and white so flattering to people's skin.
It's outrageously flattering.
Oh, this lighting is not flattering that I just turned on. Excuse me, let me just turn it back down. I think black and white film is so beautiful and so flattering, but it is interesting. And I wish there were more black and white movies that were contemporary. I know that producers and studios and all those people will really fight you if you try to make a black and white movie, because they feel, probably correctly, frankly, that it limits the appeal. You know, there's a lot of people that won't watch a black and white movie. So
yeah, and they're wrong.
Yeah.
And I like, for me, like I find black and white movies to be outrageously cozy, and because I love old Hollywood movies. I find them like delightful. And so very frequently I will fall asleep watching Young Frankenstein or Arsenic and Old Lace or Rebecca. I will never in my life put on Eraserhead to fall asleep to. What in fuck?
I love black and white movies too. And it's the reason why I don't like any of the Psycho sequels as much. I don't like any of the Night of the Living Dead movies that follow the original as much, because it's just like that black and white is so aesthetic. You can't beat it.
It's so powerful.
Yeah.
I mean, also, like, I will also say for Lynch, like, Eraserhead is gorgeous. Elephant Man is gorgeous. Dune, his first movie, his first feature in color, is kind of muddy
Mm,
and doesn't look great.
mm-hmm.
And a lot of the effects don't work.
Yeah.
And then Blue Velvet, when he stripped things back and he's worked in, like, he's done a feature in color before, looks gorgeous. I will also say that Eraserhead is shot by Frederick Elms, who's an outrageously talented cinematographer, and is still working today. He shot a lot of stuff for Jim Jarmusch. He shot Patterson and Night on Earth. He also shot Blue Velvet. He shot Wild at Heart, The Ice Storm, Broken Flowers.
Wow.
Valley Girl, Synecdoche, New York.
Oh, Valley Girl. It's funny that that's the one that makes me perk up.
I just love the idea of, like, being on set of Valley Girl and being like, oh yeah, we got the guy who shot Eraserhead here.
I mean, Valley Girl is an art movie as far as I'm concerned. I love it so much. It is actually very sensitive and has a good screenplay and is, like, artful in its own way.
It is.
Yeah.
And it also has Colleen Camp.
Yeah.
And any movie with Colleen Camp can't be bad.
Absolutely. Well, we love Eraserhead, but it's time to move on to our favorite game, Have They Seen It?, where we speculate wildly whether notable figures have seen this film. I don't know why I thought of him. I thought of Darren Aronofsky, who we don't like, but I don't want him to be the one. His ex-girlfriend, Jennifer Lawrence. Do you think Jennifer Lawrence has seen Eraserhead?
Oh, I forgot they dated.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord. Oh. I'm going to say no. I also don't think he's seen it. Because he's famously gone on record so many times being like, who's Mario Bava? Like, there's no way he's seen this.
I really like Jennifer Lawrence on the whole, but I think you're right. And I don't think that that's bad. I mean, I don't judge her for not having seen Eraserhead.
I feel like she watches HGTV.
Yeah, and I do too. I can't judge. I love HGTV. Did you see her movie No Hard Feelings?
No, I did not.
It's pretty funny, actually.
Okay.
I saw it in the theater. I liked it a lot, actually.
I'll stick with Sex Drive 2008.
Yeah, it is in the tradition of Sex Drive. But I just really missed, like, sex comedies, so I'm glad that they're coming back because they're a lot of fun sometimes.
I'm glad that manslaughterer Matthew Broderick has more work. Good for him.
Okay, who do you got for me?
Well, we talked about someone who was tangential to the production of Eraserhead for quite a bit. Do you think Sissy Spacek has seen Eraserhead?
I think so. I think she's probably still friends with David Lynch. I was going to say earlier, like, imagine being at a dinner with Sissy Spacek and David Lynch.
Good Lord. The impressions you'd be able to do after that dinner.
Yeah. I think she has seen it many times. I think she owns, like, a Blu-ray of it. I think she owns memorabilia of it. I bet she is proud to have worked on it. She seems like a kind person.
He worked with her again in The Straight Story in the 90s.
Oh, right. You're right. I forgot about that. She seems like somebody who loves movies, who's smart and sophisticated and kind. So I think she's seen it, and I think she's proud of her small part in it and all of that.
Yeah. I feel like if you walked into her house, there'd be, like, an original poster of Eraserhead somewhere.
Absolutely. I think so. Yeah. She's that kind of person.
She's got incredible taste. I adore her. I mean, she worked with Costa Gavras, like, right after doing Coal Miner's Daughter.
She's
like,
incredible.
She rocks.
Have you seen Coal Miner's Daughter, by the way? I brought it up earlier.
I haven't. I literally have the VHS tape, like, right there.
It's so good, but especially the first act, which is set in the holler in Kentucky in the 1940s, is particularly good.
Ivory's a really big fan of that singer,
Loretta Lynn.
Loretta Lynn. She's a really, really big fan
Me too.
of her. So we have it. We've been meaning to watch it. She hasn't seen it either. So
really
that'll
good.
happen soon. You'll hear about that on this show probably in the coming few months.
It's really good. Loretta Lynn had the same trajectory as I did, from the Kentucky holler to Washington State. She did that same move. This person came to my mind out of the clear blue sky. Do you think that pop singer Miley Cyrus has seen Eraserhead?
Yeah, she's a bit of a stoner now. So I feel like when she got into her stoner era, she probably, like, and she became friends with Joan Jett and stuff like that, which is so weird. I do think she's absolutely seen Eraserhead. I do think she's a David Lynch fan, but I feel like if you asked her for a list of her favorite 100 movies, she wouldn't name a single David Lynch movie. If you know what I mean?
True. Yeah.
I will also say, do you know that we have David Lynch to thank for Miley Cyrus entirely being a celebrity and for being a successful singer?
No.
Her father, Billy Ray Achy Breaky Heart Cyrus,
Yes.
was a one-hit wonder, went into obscurity.
Mm-hmm.
His comeback was in Mulholland Drive.
Oh, right. That's right.
He is the person who is sleeping with Justin Theroux's wife.
I forgot about all of this.
In Mulholland Drive. He's got a lot of scenes in Mulholland Drive. And it was the process of like being in Mulholland Drive that got Billy Ray Cyrus like back in the spotlight and like working and stuff again, and helped be that process helped be a launch pad for his daughter.
I will say she's got an incredible voice, and I really like her career these days. I like her like more rocky music a lot. Her
People
voice
say
is
that
really
all
good.
the time. I keep trying. I can't. I think her rock stuff is god awful, and I don't like her voice.
I think her voice is
she did that she did that rock album recently, and she worked with Joan Jett a bunch, and I'm like, okay, I will like actually give this a shot. I never keeps being like, no, her voice is so much better for rock. It's so much better for that. And I was like, okay, nope.
Oh, I'm not with
Bad.
you. I think it's good.
Don't like it.
Her godmother is Dolly Parton, and they're like very close.
I know.
And I saw this interview where she said that Dolly Parton doesn't have a cell phone, and if you want to get in touch with her, you have to fax her, which I love. I would love to get a fax from Dolly Parton.
I believe that.
I'm secretly a little bit of a country queen. I love country music.
Secretly?
I guess
I love Dolly Parton.
Yeah.
A friend of mine who is from Nashville and lives out in LA recently went back to Nashville to work on a photo shoot involving Dolly Parton and got a photo with her and like said she's a fucking saint.
There are these measurements that measure like the likability of celebrities, and Dolly Parton is the most liked celebrity across all demos, all ages, all races.
And she has like worked really hard for that.
She's incredible. I mean, when I was a kid, she was a punchline about her big boobs, and she's like outlived the boob jokes. Like I haven't heard one of those in 20 years, and she does so much charity. She funded Moderna in part, the vaccine. Mm-hmm. She spends millions of dollars to buy the children of Tennessee books every year. Like every kid in Tennessee gets a certain number of free books every year because of Dolly. She's just like the best.
I love her so fucking much. Yeah. Dolly's the best. I hope Dolly's seen Eraserhead.
I bet she hasn't.
I bet she hasn't. Oh my god. Okay. I am going to... Okay. So here's a question for you. When I think about Eraserhead, I think about a specific time in my life and that kind of like art kid between the ages of like 17 and 23 who's going to have like an Eraserhead t-shirt and stuff like that. And this kind of like post Y2K commodification of like 70s and 80s like underground goth culture and stuff like that. And the other thing I always think about is Unknown Pleasures, the Joy Division album.
Okay.
Those kind of go hand in hand. They both have a very black and white visual aesthetic. They both have a kind of morose melancholy to them. And Ian Curtis, of course, passed away.
1980. He killed himself.
In 1980. Do you think Ian Curtis had a chance to see Eraserhead?
I wonder what kind of like... I wonder how movies like this spread back then. I wonder if he could have seen it. I guess he lived in Manchester. Is that where Joy Division was from? Or London, wherever he was in the UK. I wonder if they got it yet. I want to say no, just because I feel like things just moved more slowly then, and he was in a different country and all of that kind of stuff. But I don't know. What do you think?
I think it's possible. I mean,
it's
I know
for sure possible. Like if he had lived another 10 years, I would say absolutely.
Yeah. Eraserhead, I know it was screened in England in the 70s. I just don't know when. But I also know that Ian Curtis had like very like art house taste in movies.
Of course, yeah.
Famously, the last movie he ever watched was David Lynch's friend Werner Herzog Strozek.
Oh, interesting.
So I don't know. I think it's
movie,
possible.
I think it's possible too. I saw that movie Control many years ago. That was the story.
I really want to see that.
Ian Curtis. I only saw it once, so I don't really remember. But my takeaway, honestly, was like, wow, he was such a dick to his wife and child. You know what I mean? Like,
the movie that I always think about is 24-Hour Party People.
Oh,
which is more about New Order.
Yeah. And I'm actually, I do love Joy Division, but I'm a New Order person. Early New Order, especially when the music kind of sounds like Joy Division and it's not so synthy yet. Stuff like Age of Consent and Ceremony and like that era of New Order is like some of my favorite.
Ceremony's the fucking best.
You know what? It's my favorite song of all time, Ceremony by New Order. Well, that's kind of it for this episode of Bloodhouse. I hope you liked it. Please rate it 5 stars wherever you listen to podcasts. You can email us at bloodhousepod@gmail.com. You can follow us on Twitter or Instagram. We didn't discuss at all that this is our 100th episode, but it is. It's episode 100, which is very special. I'm very proud. We are watching next week something very romantic and cool. We switched up the order. We had announced that we were going to watch that this week, but obviously we didn't. We wanted to do something more special for our 100th episode, but this is very special too. Next week we are watching from the 1970s the shocking killer lovers on the run movie, The Honeymoon Killers. Can't wait. Bye.